As a renowned speaker, author, and television personality, Mr. Brown has risen to international prominence by delivering powerful messages championing greatness over mediocrity. There are not a lot of mediocre people here, but he's born a twin in a low-income Liberty City in Miami, Florida. His brother Wes were adopted when they were 6 weeks old, Miss Mamie Brown. Ms. Brown was a single woman who had very little education or financial means, but a very big heart. As a child, Mr. Brown was mislabeled by confused teachers, clearly. There are a few people here who know what I'm talking about. Teachers, yeah, you know what I'm talking about. He went on to clearly overcome that stigma. He rose from a hip-hop talking morning DJ to broadcast manager, from community activist to community leader, from political commentator to three-term legislator, from a banquet and nightclub MC to premier keynote speaker. He's spoken all over the world to all types of organizations, and he's here tonight in Soweto, in South Africa, one of the most blessed places in the world. Please come and bless this stage, Mr. Les Brown.
Thank you so much, Timothy. It's Mitzi, you just broke my feelings, you know. You just broke me and the brothers down, you know. You trade, what did she say about if you educate a woman, you educate a nation. Educate a man, you educate an individual. I said, ow! I mean, you take no prisoners and eat the wounded. I'm going to take that back to the States. Yeah. I want to first of all, thank all of you for being here. To Mitzi, the CEO, I want to thank Mitzi. Thank you for the work that you did and making this happen. I'd like to recognize all the organizations, the South African Black Entrepreneurs Forum, the Business Women's Association, the University of Johannesburg, and African Rising, and Success Resource. It's Richard Tan and his wife, Veronica Tan, the two entrepreneurs that are responsible for me being here. Would you all please stand? Stand. Yeah, give them a tremendous round of applause. They have a commitment to South Africa to help people get a larger vision of themselves and to give them the methods and techniques and the tools by exposing them to some of the most brilliant minds on the planet on how you can begin to change your reality. Also like for you to meet our team, we have Lee, and we have, where is Lee? Lee, he's on camera here, and yes, there is Lee right there. They came in from Malaysia, and Cerny and Michelle, yes, and Paul. Where else? Who else? The whole team. Where's our whole team? Yes, give them a round of applause, please. That's our team there. Yes. I want to share a few thoughts with you. How many of you have some major goals you'd like to achieve? Raise your hands, please. Very good. Shake someone's hand on your right and left, look them in the eyes and say, you have something special. You have greatness in you.
I don't know if you want on my left. You can go to the right.
Very good. I like to ask that question, how many of you have major goals? And usually the majority of people raise their hands. But I want to ask you another question. Because last year this time I would not be able to give this presentation. Last year this time I was re-diagnosed with cancer, which I beat 17 years ago. My PSA, which stands for prostate-specific antigen, was 1,850. 1 to 4 is normal. And cancer had eaten 40% of my T1 vertebrae. But because of God's grace and mercy, I'm cancer-free, debt-free, and promised. And trust me, it's better to be seen than to be viewed. Can you feel a brother up in here, up in here? But I want to ask you another question. As I was reflecting on my life after getting a variety of treatments, traditional medicine and alternative methods and techniques. I want to ask you another question. As I was reflecting on my life, how many of you know, and I know you've done things you feel good about, things that you're proud of, but how many of you know if you had your life to live over again, you could have done more than what you've done thus far? Raise your hands, please. Now, that proves the point that what we do and what we accomplish in life is only a tip of the iceberg of what's possible for us. Everybody say with me with conviction, live full.
Live full.
Die empty.
Die empty.
Say it again, live full.
Live full.
Die empty.
Die empty.
After having 238 radiation seed implants and reflecting on my life, I was reading some words by Dr. Howard Thurman. Dr. Thurman was an advisor to Mahatma Gandhi, to Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Dr. King Sr. said, Howard, I want you to work with my boy. He wrote some profound pieces. Deep is the hunger, the voice of the genuine, the centering moment. And one night around 3 o'clock in the morning, I couldn't sleep. I read these words. He said, the ideal situation for a man or woman to die is to have family members praying with them as they cross over. He said, but imagine, if you will, being on your deathbed and standing around your bed, the ghost of the dreams, the ideas, the abilities, the talents given to you by life and you for whatever reason. You never went after those dreams. You never used those gifts. You never used those talents. You never used your abilities to do more. There they are standing around your bed looking at you with large angry eyes saying, we came to you and only you could have given us life. And now we must die with you forever. And the question is, if you died today, what dreams, what ideas, what innovation, what leadership, what gifts will die with you? Great speaker from the States, from the Bahamas, Miles Monroe, he said, the wealthiest place on the planet, it's not in the Far East where there's oil in the ground. It's not in South Africa where there are diamond mines. He said the wealthiest place on the planet is the cemetery. Because there you find potential never realized. There you find dreams never pursued. There you find gifts, abilities, talents never used. Maybe that's why Henry David Thoreau said, oh God, to reach the point of death, only to realize that you've never lived. Only to realize that you've never scraped the surface of your potential. Maybe that's why one woman asked in a moment of anguish, what if you live your whole life only to discover that it was wrong? That it was wrong. You have something special. You have greatness within you. But greatness, it's not your destiny. Greatness is a choice that you must make deliberately to reach beyond your comfort zone. Why is that important? Because in order to do something you've never done, you've got to become someone you've never been. You have something special. You have greatness within you. And to prove it, you were chosen 1 out of 400 million sperm. God had something in mind when he said, I want you. I want you. I want you. I want you. And so I want you to think about your goals and dreams. And I want you to think about them in 3 areas. Number 1, some personal goal. My first personal goal was to buy my mother a home. I'm adopted. I feel like Abraham Lincoln, who said, all that I am and all that I ever hope to be, I owe to my mother. I saw a sign once that said, God took me out of my biological mother's womb and placed me in the heart of my adopted mother. My mama worked on Miami Beach. She was a domestic worker. She worked for wealthy families. She cleaned homes and she cooked for these families. She kept their children. And we wore the hand-me-down clothes of the children that she kept. And they were kind and generous people. They would say, Mamie, whatever food is left over, you can pack it up and take it home to those children that you have adopted. She only had a 3rd grade education, but she had a PhD in motherhood. And my mother not only was she a great cook, but she could bake too. My mama could fix a sweet potato pie so good you couldn't eat it with your shoes off. You had to take your shoes off so you could wiggle your toes. And when we were walking around these big, beautiful mansions on Miami Beach, I used to say, Mama! She said, what is it, boy? When I become a man, I'm going to buy you a big, beautiful home, just like this. How many of you have somebody special you'd like to do something for? Raise your hands, please. Very good. I want you to think about it. I'm going to share with you some strategies on how you can do that. Now, I want you to think about your financial goals. You know, people say, money won't make you happy, but everybody want to find out for themselves. A friend of mine named Rita Davenport said, money ain't important, but it's right up there with oxygen. And let me tell you something, fellas. Even if you're as homely as I am, you got some money, women will find something cute on you. Oh, he's got earlobes like Denzel Washington. I used to be so broke I'd walk past the bank and trip the alarm. Creditors would call the house, my children would answer the phone and say, my daddy say he ain't home. Everybody repeat after me, please. I'll never be broke again.
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 I see that for you. Thou shalt decree a thing, it shall be established unto you. You will never be broke again. Never, ever, ever. You will always have more than enough money to spare because that's in your destiny. Give yourselves a round of applause. The next thing is we celebrate the 95th birthday of Nelson Mandela. I want you to think about what will your social contribution be. Horace Mann said that we should be ashamed to die until we've made some major contribution to humankind. As we think about the life of this man who gave up 26 years of his life in prison and a tremendous sacrifice to his family, as we think about this life of service, we must know that the greatest celebration is not in terms of the things that we do to recognize his contribution. The greatest celebration is to see him as an example as opposed to an exception. And let's give his grandson a round of applause for marching his own footsteps. And so I want you to think about what will your contribution be. There's a Nelson Mandela in you. What will be different here because of you, because of your commitment, because of how you're going to invest your time, because of how you're going to develop yourself, because of your focus, because of your discipline, because of your commitment? What's going to be different? How are you going to carve out a place so that when you go, that people will know that you've left a legacy? One of the things that's happening in the States, a lot of people, I don't know if it's here yet, just popularized tattoos. Anybody can sit around and sit down and have somebody mark on their bodies, but trust me on this. The people that's going to make a difference on the planet are people that's making a tattoo on the planet with their service. So I want you to think about what's going to be different. What will you do differently? One of the goals I have, I train entrepreneurs how to present themselves, presentation power, how to sell themselves, how to sell their ideas, their products, their services, and their business. It's a master key. Write this down. I'll give you some things to write down that's going to be the master key to your changing your life. The master key to that is learning how to present yourself. I don't have any college training. I speak for major corporations around the world. I just spoke for Procter & Gamble about 2 weeks ago and earned more in 1 hour than 90% of the American public earn working for a whole year. So I don't tell you that to impress you, but to impress upon you, you have something special. You have greatness within you. So one of the goals I have is teaching people how to present themselves, how to sell your products. I didn't have any money when I started out. I used to sleep in my office in the Penobscot building in downtown Detroit, Michigan, hiding in the closet when the janitorial staff came to clean the office, bathing in the sink down the hall. I didn't have the money. I've never known both my parents. They stood up and said, "Hello, son." I would not know either one. But I have this teacher. He's in his 90s now, and I'll talk with him next week. I'll never forget, I walked through his classroom, and he said, young man, go to the board and work this problem out for me. I said, sir, I'm not one of your students. He said, look at me. I said, yes, sir. Go to the board and work the problem out anyhow. I said, I can't do that, sir. And the other students started laughing, saying, he's Leslie. He's got a twin brother, Wesley. His brother's smart. He's DT. He said, what's DT? He's the dumb twin. The students erupted in laughter just like many of you just did. And I said, I am, sir. And he came from behind his desk and he looked at me. He said, don't ever say that again. Someone's opinion of you does not have to become your reality.
Amen.
And that was a turning point in my life. On one hand, I was humiliated, but on the other hand, I was liberated. Because he looked at me with the eyes of Goethe, who said, look at a man the way that he is, he only becomes worse. But look at him as if he were what he could be, then he becomes what he should be. And so what I want to work with you on right now is I want you to write this down, an achievement mindset. An achievement mindset. What will it take for you to begin to make a mark, to leave a legacy, for you to create a new chapter for South Africa? Dr. Carter G. Woodson said, if you can determine what a man shall think, you never have to concern yourself with what he will do. He said, if you can make a man feel inferior, you never have to compel him to seek an inferior status, for he will seek it himself. And if you can make a man feel justly an outcast, you never have to order him to go to the back door. He'll go without being told. And if there's no door, his very nature will demand one. And so one of the most important things that I'm doing with my life now is teaching people how to speak to individuals, to speak to groups, large groups, small groups, and be able to transform them. As I'm speaking to you right now, I'm overriding the programming in your mind. As I speak to you right now, I'm creating a new blueprint in your mind set right now. I'm navigating an experience. You have an energy signature, and I'm speaking to the higher part of you. And so one of the most important things as entrepreneurs, being able to know how to communicate effectively and strategically. Notice I said strategic. Being able to be a strategic, experiential, powerful presenter makes all the difference in the world. It gives you the competitive advantage. That's what has allowed me to dominate this industry for the last 40 years. And I don't have any college education. I never worked for a major corporation. And I've been in this industry now for many years, and I can just tell you this. You have the abilities to do more than you can ever begin to imagine. I'm amazed at the genius, the talents and abilities, the people that I've ran into. And the reason that a lot of people are failing is because they don't know that they don't know, and they think they know. And so as you look at your goals and look at your dreams, you want to develop a strategy on working on your mindset. And because you showed up here for Nancy, and I'm going to give all of you a gift, I'm going to send something to you that if you watch this on a regular basis, it will change your life. Trust me on this. As I'm speaking to over 80,000 people in the Georgia Dome, it's called It's Not Over Until I Win. I want you to write this down. yes@lesbrown.com. Email me and do it within the next 24 hours, and I have my staff send this out to you as a gift. And as you watch this on a regular basis, it's going to begin to reprogram your thinking. One of the most important things you want to do right now, write this down. What you think about, you bring about. What you think about, you bring about. So you want to start focusing on your goals and dreams. And as you listen to this, I want you to think about your goals and dreams on a regular basis. You're going to get some major breakthroughs with less than 90 days as you do this, because it's going to create a shift in your thinking. Here's something else. Protect your mind. Protect your mind. Don't expose yourself to the pollution that's out here that other people are bringing to you. Avoid head trash. You're in a very challenging situation when you're around a lot of poverty, when you're around a lot of people that have lost hope. You got to protect your mind. And the things that are said, why? Because words are powerful. My favorite book says death and life is in the tongue. It doesn't say life and death is in the tongue. It says death and life is in the tongue. Why? Because most people speak death. I want to give you an example of this, and then I'll continue. I want Dr. Julie Van Putten to come up, because she was 10 years old. Come up. She was 10 years old in the Detroit school system, and she was career time, and they were are you coming up? Thank you very much. And so she was asked a question by a teacher, what do you want to be when you grow up? And what did you say to the teacher?
I said that I wanted to be a doctor.
And what did the teacher say to you?
The teacher said to me, that's probably not the best thing for you.
How many have ever been told that you couldn't do something? Raise your hands, please. Let me share with you how detrimental that is. And why my favorite book says, faith comes by hearing and hearing and hearing. What is your name, sir? Tony? Tongai. If I said to you, Tongai, you can't have your dream. Somebody else has to come along and say, Tongai, you can. Tongai, you can. Tongai, listen, you can do that. Don't listen to him, Tongai. Somebody else has to come along and say that 16 times to neutralize that one time. That's why, ladies and gentlemen, we have to protect ourselves from head trash. So how did that impact your life after that conversation?
I really just believed it. At that point in time, I really said to myself, well, they know better for me than maybe I know for myself.
Continue. So what happened?
And at that point in time, I had to make a decision. What was I going to do with my own life? And I made the decision that I would become an educator. They said, why don't you become an educator like your mother? Or you speak really well. Why don't you think about being a counselor? So I went to school and I went to college, and that's exactly what I did.
And so she, based upon what was said to her, let us say together, the power of the word. Power of the word. What happened then?
At that point in time, I went to college, and that's what I did. I became a health educator, and I got a master's in health education, and I went and I got a master's in counseling, and I just started having my life. I went along my life, but deep down inside, I knew that I wanted to be a physician.
Now something else is going to come up here. Let us say together, I want to be a channel. To make a difference in people's lives. I want to speak life. How many want to speak life? Raise your hands, please. Very good. So she met someone. She met someone. And what happened in that conversation?
In that conversation, the person looked at me and they said to me, after I was working for years and years, they said, you know, you have always wanted to be a physician. Why didn't you do it? And I said, you know, I didn't think I could do it. I had great grades. I had done extremely well in school. But what I did at that moment in time was that I incorporated into my life the disbelief that that person had for me. Because they said that I couldn't do it, then I believed in my own life I couldn't do it.
Continue. So
You go ahead.
No, I want you to tell me what happened.
No, you go right ahead.
No.
And so he spoke to me in a moment, and he said, you can do anything that you want to do. And in a moment, it was like a spell was broken. And that spell, after that, I went back to school, I started looking and looking at courses and deciding at that point in time that that was something that I wanted to go after, and that was something that I wanted to do. And at 27, at that point in time, by this time I really said, why should I do this? I'm too old now. And he said, no, you will be that old anyway, so you might as well go ahead and go after what you want. Yes. And so it took me about 2 to 3 years to go back, but I went and I did my coursework, and because I had done extremely well in school up to that point in time, what happened was when I went to apply, I actually ended up getting a scholarship at a number of different schools, a full scholarship for an MD PhD program. And actually, I was able to start medical school when I was 42. So one of the things that I say to women, you're never too old. You know, one of the things that happens to us in our lives is that we give up our power. We give up our power to people who say we can't. We give up our power to individuals who say that, you know, this isn't for you. You have to do what you need to do for your family. We give up our power because we always think it's somebody else's turn. But one of the things that I say to women is take back your power. Be really clear that before you can do for anybody, you really have gifts, you have talents, you have abilities, you have skills, you have things that you can do in your own life. And you've been given a charge. You've been given the nurturing role, first to yourself. And many times in our quest to help other people, we give up the power that we have in our own life. In my life, I made the decision that, no, it wasn't my time yet. No, somebody else had to go first. No, I couldn't do something because I let somebody else's opinion of me become my reality. And the truth is, if you say you can't, you can't. If you say you won't, you won't. But you always have the ability to do much, much more than you can. And it's never, never too late to start. So I say, take back your power. In my case, it wasn't too late. I went into medical school actually when I was 32 years old. And I finished after I was 40. And it was a wonderful experience because I never saw in my life that I could be a physician, that I could be a scientist. I ended up earning an MD in family medicine, fellowed and boarded in that, a PhD in epidemiology and outcomes research. And had I listened, had I kept listening to the lie that someone had placed on my life for 14 years, I would have never gone after my dream. So you can. It's not too late. For you, the dream may be to have your business, to own your own bank account, to see a child go to a certain school, to be able to save, to get something that's very important, maybe something that will give you another opportunity. And what I say to you is, stand where you are now. Learn that it's not too late to learn. One of the things that I ask myself every single day is, what do I know today that I didn't know tomorrow? What can I do today that I couldn't do last week? Because the shortest path to a new life is this, to reprogramming your mind, to see where you spend your free time, to see who are the people around you who are saying you can or you can't. And I can tell you, as a physician, as a woman, as a mother, as a daughter, as a partner, as a businesswoman, as a woman who recognizes that from us comes the next generation. We must heal our own lives. We must look not just at what's in front of us, not just what's in our hand, but what's in our heart, and recognize that we have a responsibility to ourselves to let the flames of promise, of future, of tomorrow continue to grow, continue to flame brightly, so that we can create another tomorrow, not only for ourselves, but for our children. Thank you very much.
Now, she didn't want to speak. She said they came to see you. Did y'all get some value out of that? Yeah. Give her another round of applause, all right? So she has a PhD in preventative medicine from The Ohio State University, and is a medical doctor, and headed up, how many patients when you were a medical director under the auspice? So over 100,000 patients. Now, but she didn't do that for 14 years because she believed a lie. What lie are you living? Let us say together, I have greatness within me. I break the spell of every lie that's been spoken on my life. Put your hand over your heart right now. I can have my dream. I deserve my dream. I'm willing to do what it takes. One last request. I want you to take your right index finger, hold it up right now. All right? I want you to put it in your ear, put it in your ear. I want you to listen to me. You have something special. You have greatness within you. You have the ability to make history. There's a billionaire in you. There's a billionaire in you. You have the ability to do more than you can ever begin to imagine. Today is the first day of the rest of your life. Live your life from a place of power and possibility. But because of you, the world will never be the same again. Because of you and your commitment with your life, this world is a better place. Take your hand out. The reason I had you to do that, I didn't want you to go in one ear and out the other. Oh, behave! I got you that time, but let the record show. All right. Now, so as you look at your dreams, look at where you want to go with your life, and as you look at your personal goals, your financial goals, and I want you to think about your financial freedom number, that once you earn that, it will alleviate a lot of stress in your life. Once you earn that, you'll be able to do things for your family and the people you care about and the causes you believe in. Once you earn that, it'll put your life in a different place. Then I want you to think about your social contribution, and let us say together with power, feeling, and conviction, it's possible.
It's possible.
Say it again.
It's possible.
See, what I'm doing now, I didn't do this for years. You know why? I didn't believe it was possible. I was suffering from possibility blindness. The easiest thing that I do is prepare to give a speech. That's easy when I leave here and speak on Saturday morning, and I encourage you to be there because you're going to hear me and other presenters that's going to change your life and provide information for you. Write this down. Knowledge is the new currency. Yes, that's why what's happening with the National Achievers Congress is providing knowledge for you to begin to unlock a different life for yourself. This is the era of what the late Peter Drucker calls the era of the 3 C's. Accelerated change, overwhelming complexity, and tremendous competition. People are failing because they don't know that they don't know, and they think they know. The game has changed. How many of you know things have changed? Raise your hands, please. And so when you come to these events, you're going to be exposed to information that will allow you to have the competitive edge. How many of you want the competitive edge? Raise your hands, please. And this is what it gives you. And that's what I did. I invested in myself. You don't get in life what you want, you get in life what you are. And as a result of that, transforming my mindset, I began to believe that it was possible. And the thing is, and why I had Dr. Julie come up, the goal is to train 100,000 voices of hope outside of politics and outside of religion, both of which I believe polarize and divide people unwittingly. And the reason that I want to do that is that as you can begin to speak, you can give people hope. When there's hope in the future, it gives you power in the present. That's number one. Number two, encourage people to increase their knowledge and their skill set. There's not a shortage of opportunity. There's a shortage of capacity to take advantage of the opportunities that are available or to create opportunities. And the third thing, and this is very important what you're doing right now, create, and write this down, collaborative, achievement-driven, supportive relationships. I would not be here were it not for Richard and Veronica Tan. That's the collaborative, achievement-driven, supportive relationship. They know this is in my heart. They know I wanted to be here. And so therefore they made it possible with their relationship with you, made it possible for me to be here. Has it been of some benefit to you so far? Can you see the value of that? All right, very good. So give them another round of applause. Very good. And next, thank you for being accepted. The other thing is, as you look at your goals and dreams, I didn't do it because I looked at the people who were on stage who didn't look like me. I don't have a college education. I never worked for a major corporation. I would go see Tony Robbins and Zig Ziglar and Dr. Robert Schuller, and my heart would be excited because I love to help people. How many of you love to help people? Raise your hands, please. My heart would say, I can do that. And then as I went to the parking lot, my mind asked, how? I mean, you thought about something you wanted to do, and you asked yourself, how? And then you talk yourself out of it. Raise your hands, please. Yeah, that's why my favorite book says, lean not unto thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy path. How is none of your business. You have to figure it out. How is none of your business? So I got stuck in my head. Write this down. When there's an argument between your heart and your mind, follow your heart. Because where your heart is, there your treasure is also. I love helping people. I love speaking to people. I love helping people find their voice. I love helping them learn how to tell their story, to earn more, to grow their businesses. I love that. That's who I am. I was born to do this. You want to find out if I'm going, they say I'm dead? Put a microphone in the casket. If I don't say anything, say he's gone. Now here's another reason I didn't do it. You know why I didn't do it? Because it's hard. Hard for me to learn how to communicate to get access. Let us say together, access. See, your ability to communicate gives you access. That's what happened in the presidential election in the United States. President Barack Obama, he was a communicator. He can communicate, and he can galvanize and organize people. Does that make sense? Yes, Mr. Washington, Mr. Brown, yes, sir. He said, develop your mind and develop your communication skills, because once you open your mouth, you tell the world who you are. That's why it's very important to learn how to become an effective communicator. And so it was hard. How many of us decided not to do something because it was hard? Raise your hands, please. Very good. Write this down. This is going to change your life, and post it someplace where you can see it. If you do what is easy, your life will be hard. But if you do what is hard, your life will be easy. If you do what is easy, complain, talk about the odds, talk about the government, talk about the circumstances, talk about you don't have any money, talk about I failed in the past, we can't do it, I don't have the support. If you do what is easy, anybody can complain. There's never been a statue erected to a critic. If you do what is easy, your life will be hard. But if you do what is hard, your life will be easy. Let us say together, it's possible.
It's possible.
I can have my dream. It's necessary.
It's necessary.
See, you don't want to be casual about your dream. If you're casual about your dream, you'll end up a casualty. You've got to decide that it's necessary. Here's something else. Upgrade your relationships. Upgrade your relationships. Write this down. OQP. Say OQP. Only quality people. You want to change your life? You got to look at the people in your life and ask the question, what is this relationship doing to me? Am I growing mentally, emotionally, and spiritually? There's some people, if you never saw them again, it'll be too soon. Well, can I change them? No. It's a full-time job changing yourself. There's some people that's so negative they can walk into a dark room and begin to develop. Oh, behave. Whatever. Only quality people. Dr. Dennis Kimbrough said, if you're the smartest one in your group, you need to get a new group. Mr. Washington, Mr. Brown, what do you want to do with your life? Be clear about your goals. What is it you want to do with your life? I said, sir, I want to be a disc jockey. I want to take care of my mother. He said, you want to be a disc jockey? I said, yes, sir, I want to be on the radio. He says, good. He said, develop your mind, develop your communication skills, and upgrade your relationships. I said, yes, sir. He said, I want you to start working on your format. I said, wait a minute, sir. I want to be a disc jockey. I don't have a job yet. And then he quoted Whitney Young. He said, it's better to be prepared for an opportunity and not have one than to have an opportunity and not be prepared. So let us say together, I expect to live my dream. And so what he told me to do, he told me to practice. He told me to visualize and see myself on the air. He gave me some books to read, 10 to 15 pages of something positive every day. I encourage you to do that. Why? Because they did a study of some 3,000 top achievers, Brother Mandela. And here's what they discovered, that 85% of them reached their goals because of their attitude, 15% because of their aptitude. Your mindset, an achiever's mindset, is very important. And so as you look at your goals and dreams, let us say together, I can do this. I can do this. And so what happened was that I began to work on myself, listening to motivational messages on a regular basis. And I came to it. I said, sir, I've done the things that you told me. I visualize myself every day on the air. I practice. I said, I'm ready. So I said, okay, Mr. Brown. So I said, you can go on out into the marketplace. I went to apply for a job on Miami Beach. Milton Butterball Smith was the program director of WMBM radio station. Hello, Mrs. Butterball. How are you, sir? My name is Les Brown, sir. I like to be a disc jockey. Young man, you having journalism in your background? No, sir, I don't. Have any experience? I said, no, sir, I don't. But just give me a shot, sir. Let me audition for you, sir. Let me show you how good I am. He said, no. We don't have any job for you. How many have been rejected? Raise your hands, please. I was devastated with rejection. I went back to Mr. Washington and said, Mr. Washington, they said no. He said, don't take it personally. Most people are so negative, they have to say no 7 times before they say yes. He said, you got to be hungry. Let us say together, you got to be hungry. He said, go back again. I said, yes, sir. I went back again. Hello, Mr. Butterball. How are you, sir? My name is Les Brown, sir. I'd like to be a disc jockey. He said, I know what your name is. Weren't you here yesterday? I said, yes, sir. Didn't I tell you no yesterday? I said, yes, sir. He said, then why are you back today? I said, well, sir, I didn't know whether or not somebody was fired or somebody was laid off, sir. He said, nobody was fired or laid off. Now get on out of here. I came back the next day, talking loud, looking happy like I was singing for the first time. I said, hello, Mr. Butterball. How are you, sir? My name is Les Brown, sir. I'd like to be a disc jockey. He said, I know what your name is. Weren't you here the last 2 days? I said, yes, sir. Didn't I tell you no the last 2 days? I said, yes, sir. He said, then why are you back today? I said, well, sir, I didn't know whether or not someone got sick or someone died, sir. He said, no one got sick or died. No one was laid off or fired. Don't you come back here again. I came back the next day. Talking loud, looking happy like I was seeing you for the first time. I said, hello, Mr. Butterball, how are you? He looked at me with rage. He said, go get me some coffee. I said, yes, sir. My favorite book says the greatest among you will be your servant. How many of you are serious about your goals? Raise your hands, please. Write this down as entrepreneurs. Provide more service than you get paid for. Provide more service than you get paid for. This is what gave me the competitive edge over all the speakers who had more money than I did, who had the complexion of connection that I did not have. They came up with memorized scripts. I trained myself to read a minimum of 2 books a month, and nobody knows more quotes than I do. I trained myself how to use stories and examples and navigate an experience that will change people's lives. And so you want to make yourself stand out. Henry David Thoreau said, do not go where the path may lead, but go where there's no path and leave a trail. And so I became the errand boy for the disc jockeys. I'd go get their lunch and their dinner, and I'd stand in the control room serving them, looking at and watching and memorizing their hand movements on the control board, knowing my time will come. Let us say together, my time will come. On the weekend, when they came out to the parking lot, their cars would be waxed and clean inside out. They said, hey, who did this? I did, sir. How much do you charge, young man? Oh, nothing, sir. I just wanted to contribute. Write this down. Build relationships. I was building a relationship. See, people do business with people they know, like, and trust. Give before you ask. I wanted them to see that I was serious. And so they said, look here. Diana Ross and the Supremes are coming to town, the Four Tops and the Temptations. Here are my car keys. Pick them up and drive them to the Fontainebleau Hotel on Miami Beach. Be my pleasure to serve you, sir. I was driving these entertainers in the disc jockeys' big long Cadillacs. Didn't have any driver's license, but I'll drive like I am. Then one day, it was a Saturday afternoon, a disc jockey by the name of Rockin' Roger was drinking while he was on the air. He began to slur his words. He was stumbling over his words. He was about to fall off the chair. It was a Saturday afternoon, and I was the only one there, looking at him through the control room window, walking back and forth, young, ready, and hungry. I was saying, drink, Rock, drink. Drink, Rock, gotta go and get him some more if it has to. Then pretty soon the phone rang. It was the general manager, and I answered the phone. I said, hello? He said, young boy, this is Mr. Klein. I said, I know. He said, Rock can't finish his program. I said, I know. He said, would you call one of the other DJs in? I said, yes, sir. I hung the phone up. I said, now he must be thinking I'm crazy. I called my mama and my girlfriend, Cassandra. I said, y'all come out on the front porch and turn up the radio. I'm about to come on the air. I I waited for about 20 minutes and I called him back. I said, Mr. Klein, I can't find nobody. He said, young boy, you know how to work the controls? I said, yes, sir. He said, go in there and work the controls, but don't you say nothing here. I said, yes, sir. I couldn't wait to get old Rock out of the way. I put on a fast record. I said, look out, this is me, LB Triple P. Les Brown, your platter playing papa. There were none before me, and there will be none after me. Therefore, that makes me the one and only. Young and single, love to make it. Certified, bonafide, dually qualified to bring you satisfaction and a whole lot of action. Look out, baby, I'm your love man. I was hungry. Shake one's hand on your right and left and say, you got to be hungry. Do that right now. People that are hungry are willing to do the things today others won't do.
Yeah.
In order to have the things tomorrow others won't have. People that are hungry believe always strive to get on top in life because it's the bottom that's overcrowded. People that are hungry know if you do what is easy, your life will be hard. But if you do what is hard, your life will be easy. I say to you, how many know people who should be here? Raise your hands, please. Who are not? People who should be here that they're not. Raise your hands, please. Let me tell you why they're not here. I only attract millionaires or millionaires in training. Give yourself I don't know what you want to do, but here's what I know. You have something special. You have greatness within you. I want to thank Richard and Veronica Tan and Metsy for making this possible. I want to thank you, ma'am, for being so kind and generous and allowing us to use the facility. And I want to leave this with you. Label, I want to say thank you, brother. I'm looking forward to working with you. This is something my mother used to love to hear me say. I don't know what your goals are. I encourage you, implore you to spread the word about the great work that the National Achievers Congress is doing on this coming Saturday and Sunday. It's life transformative, and I encourage you to be there. And you know, success is not convenient. You have to make room for it. You have to accommodate it. It's at the, what's the convention center? What is it? The Stanton Convention Center, yes. So it's going to change your life. I want to leave this with you. My mother was a 22-year breast cancer conqueror. Leslie, yes, ma'am. Say a thing for me, boy, that makes me feel good. Yes, ma'am, I will. I dedicate this to you and to your dream and the greatness that you have within you that brought you here this evening. It says simply this: if you want a thing bad enough to go out and fight for it, to work day and night for it, to give up your time, your peace, and your sleep for it, if all that you dream and scheme is about it, and life seems useless and worthless without it, and if you gladly sweat for it and fret for it and plan for it, and lose all your terror of the opposition for it, and if you simply go after that thing that you want with all of your capacity, strength and sagacity, faith, hope, and confidence, and stern pertinacity, if neither cold poverty, famish, or gulf, sickness or pain of body and brain can keep you away from the thing that you want, if dogged and grim you besiege and beset it, with the help of God, you'll get it. This has been Mrs. Mamie Brown's Baby Boy, and I want to say to you, God bless you, God bless your dream, and God bless South Africa.
Hello, my name is Les Brown. Today I want to talk to you about your goals and your dreams. I want you to think about something that's important to you. Maybe it's a personal goal. I know in my own personal experience, my goal was to be able to buy my mother a home. I'm adopted, and so I wanted to be able to do something special for my adopted mother. She was a domestic worker for wealthy families on Miami Beach, and she cooked for these families, and we ate the food left over from the families that she cooked for, and she kept the children, and we wore the hand-me-down clothes of the children that she kept. And you could imagine as a kid, I used to say, "Mama," on the way home on the bus from Miami Beach back to Liberty City and Overtown. I said, when I become a man, I'm going to be able to buy clothes for us and buy groceries for us. But not only that, I'm going to buy you a big, beautiful home, just like the homes that you clean every day. And she said, Leslie, you don't have to do that. I said, I know, but I'm going to. And you know what? The reason that I said that, I believe that it was possible. See, the family that Mama worked for, Mr. Sidursky used to listen to motivational messages every day. And I was very fortunate to have to take care of the needs of Mr. Sidursky. Had to shine his shoes and dust his office. And he was very rude to me. He said, Leslie, especially had guests, did you clean this? Yes, I did, sir. Look at it. How can you say that? I do apologize, sir. And his guests would say, don't talk to him like that. That's not nice. But the truth of the matter is, I didn't clean the office as good as I could have, okay? And the reason I did not is because I wanted him to call me into the office so I can spend time doing it over again as I listened to the motivational messages that he listened to every day by Earl Nightingale. I can remember as if it were yesterday. We become what we think about. All of us are self-made, but only the successful will admit it. I can hear the voice of Dr. Norman Vincent Peale, who wrote The Power of Positive Thinking. Don't allow your negative thoughts to hold you back. You are greater than your circumstances. I can remember when he was listening to Zig Ziglar. If you give enough people what they want, they will give you what you want. I can remember as he's listening to Jim Rohn, when the end comes for you, let it find you conquering a new mountain, not sliding down an old one. And unbeknownst to me, those messages, they're programming my mind. And it helped me to begin to develop a mindset of possibility. I want you to think about your goals and dreams of what you want to achieve on a personal level. Mine was to buy my mother a home, to take care of her. What is your goal? What's your dream? What is something that you want to do with your life? And I can say to you, based upon my own experience, and I don't even know you, that it's possible. That you have the ability to do more than you can ever begin to imagine. And your mindset is crucial as you look at your goals and your dreams and having a spirit of optimism. I had a friend who went to New York City to apply for a job, and she came back and I said, hey, how did things go? She said, I didn't get the job. I said, what happened? She said, they turned me down, but I didn't think I was going to get it anyhow. And I thought after I left her presence, well, why did she go in the first place? You know, she went there with a mindset that she was not going to get the job. I believe that we have an energy and a spirit about us that people telegraph that. But I believe that had she gone there, there's no guarantee that, hey, with a sense of expectation, I'm going to get this job. I think her preparation, her attitude, and her behavior and her energy would have been totally different. I'm reminded of two little boys who were in Philadelphia and they were playing on some ice and they got out too far and one fell through the ice and he was thrashing, trying to get out. And obviously his friend looked at him and panicked and he couldn't reach him, he couldn't pull him out. And so he saw him going under the ice and it was very hard and he couldn't break through. And so this little frail fellow ran, he saw a tree in the distance and he scrambled up this tree and he broke off a big branch and came back and savagely began to beat the ice and he broke it. And miraculously, he saved his friend. And when the paramedics came, people were looking at him, he had a blanket around him, this little puny dude, around 12 years old. And people started asking the question as they looked at him and they looked at the branch, how could this little small fellow break this branch off and beat this ice and break it and save his friend? How could he have done that, as small as he was? And as they were scratching their heads, a gentleman who was there said, I can tell you how he did it. And everybody said, how? And he said, there was no one here to tell him that he couldn't do it. See, a lot of people are not really living their dreams and living the kind of life that they are capable of living because of the fact that they have been inundated with so many negative conversations. Have you ever had a goal and dream of something you wanted to achieve and you shared it with people that you love and thought they would be excited for you, and they said to you, you can't do that? You know, MIT did a study, and the study indicated if I tell you you can't do that, somebody else has to come along and say, you can do it. You can do it. Don't listen to him, Ruby. You can do it. John, don't listen to Les. You can do it. They have to say that 17 times before they can neutralize that one time. That's why my favorite book says faith comes by hearing and hearing and hearing. And so by listening to those motivational messages, every day when my mother went to do domestic work on Miami Beach, it began to give me a sense of optimism, of the possibilities of the kind of life that I can live. And I'm saying to you, as you listen on a regular basis, as you begin to program your mind deliberately, the reason that most people don't achieve their goals is because they are thinking like everybody else. 16 revolutionary words. Be ye not conformed to this world. Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. That's an ongoing process. What are your goals? What are your dreams? Earl Nightingale was right. You don't get in life what you want. You get in life what you are. And so you want to take the time every day to listen to things that can help to program your mind positively, because at the end of the day, if you don't program your mind, it's going to be programmed. Trust me, it's going to be bombarded with all kind of head trash, commercials. I was at a service station pumping gas and a commercial came up. I mean, you get on the elevator and commercials are there. You look at billboards, there are messages is coming in, over 5,000, 10,000 messages on a regular basis. And so as you look at your goals and dreams, it's very important that you are intentional about controlling what goes on in your mind, because everything gets in through the eyes and through the ears. So, what do you want? What do you want for yourself? What I'm doing right now, I didn't do it for 14 years. You know why? Because I was suffering from possibility blindness. Have you thought about doing something and you looked at what you wanted to do and your heart said, I could do that. And then your mind asked, how? And then you start thinking, well, I can't do that. I don't have a college education. I can't do that. I don't have an MBA or a PhD. I can't do that. I've never worked for a major corporation. Why would corporations reach over people with PhDs and MBAs and years of experience and pay me to come in to do something I've never done? I thought about doing this for years, and I talked myself out of it. There's an African proverb that says, if there's no enemy within, the enemy outside can do us no harm. Shakespeare says, therefore, dear Brutus, it's not in our stars, but in ourselves that we are underlings. And so as you look at yourself and look at your goals and look at your dreams, I'm saying to you that it's possible. Because if anybody at any point in time had a goal, had a dream of what they wanted to achieve, and they made it happen, then it's possible that you can do it too. But you've got to be intentional about programming your mind. So here's some things that's very important. I want you to hold in mind what it is you want to do in your personal life. What is it that you'd like to do? Maybe you want to do something for someone you care about. That was the goal and dream that I had. And I purchased 4 different homes for my mother. And I want you to think about your financial goal. You know, people say money won't make you happy, but everybody want to find out for themselves. I have a friend named Rita Davenport, and Rita said, you know, money can't make you happy, you know, but it's right up there with oxygen. And I agree with that 100%. So as you look at your goals and dreams, I want you to think about your financial freedom number. What does that look like? That once you achieve that, it will alleviate a lot of stress. Once you achieve that, you have more time for yourself and for your family. You can go on that dream vacation you've been thinking about, or buy that dream car or home that you desire. Once you earn that amount of money, it would be like becoming debt-free. I want you to think about your financial freedom number And then once you come up with that number, and I want you to write it down, as you come up with that number, I want you to multiply it 100 times. Yes, 100 times. Read my lips, 100 times. Why? Because I found that most people fail in life, not because they aim too high and miss, no. Most people fail in life because they do what I did for a major part of my life, aim too low and hit. And most people don't aim at all. That's why there's a saying that if you don't know where you're going to end up someplace else. And so you are serious about your goals and dreams. I can say to you that you've got to affirm yourself, you've got to tell yourself, you've got to encourage yourself that it's possible, that you've got to talk to yourself on a regular basis. I'd never forget, I had to speak in the Georgia Dome for a friend of mine, Dexter Yeager. And Dexter Yeager is a multi-millionaire. He makes over $1 million every 17 hours in this organization that I spoke for. And he invited me to be his guest speaker, the headliner, before 80,000 people in the Georgia Dome. I panic. And the first thing happens when I become afraid, I have to go to the bathroom. So I went to this bathroom and they came knocking on the door. Les, the band is stalling. You need to come out. And I said, okay. And I was talking to myself saying, I can do this, because I became overwhelmed when I peeped out front and saw 80,000 people in this stadium. It was the largest gathering I'd ever seen like this. I've seen it for sporting events, but for a speaking event, I'd never been in that kind of environment before. The most people I've ever spoken for up to that time was maybe about 500 or maybe 1,000, but 85,000. I went to the bathroom 7 times because 7 is my favorite number. You know, I'm one of 7 kids. My social security number is 267. My phone number is 702. Did I tell you my favorite number is 7? God made the world in 7 days. Naaman dipped himself in the River Jordan 7 times. Joshua marched around the walls of Jericho 7 times. Did I tell you I went to the bathroom 7 times because 7 is my favorite number? Well, finally, they got Mike Williams, my mentor, and he came and he knocked on the door of this portable restroom. He said, Brownie. And I said, yes. He said, come out. I said, Mike, I'm scared. I can't think. He said, are you afraid? Admit it. I said, yes, I am. I'm nervous. I just can't do it, Mike. I'm scared. He said, Brownie? I said, yes. He said, are you listening to me? I said, yes. He said, they came to see you. You didn't come to see them. You got this, Brownie. You can do this. Wow. Let me tell you what he did. One of the things I do is train speakers how to change lives. What he did was he distracted me. I was caught up in how big the crowd was. I was caught up with saying, what can I say to them? I was breathing hard. I was feeling overwhelmed being in that setting. And when he spoke, I knew that he believed in me. When he spoke, it's like he saw me on stage speaking and he convinced me that I could do it. See, sometimes it's very important for you to hear this. Sometimes you have to believe in somebody's belief in you until your belief kicks in. And so when I looked at myself and I looked at where I was, what I said to myself, Mike believes in me. He believes that I can do this. And I'm saying to you, as you look at your goals and look at your dreams, one of the things that's important in maintaining an achievement-driven mindset and a spirit of optimism is having someone in your corner, having someone who believes in you, having someone who can see what you can't see. See, sometimes you can't see the picture when you're in the frame. That's why it's very important for us to have coaches, people who can encourage us, who can inspire us. You know, Muhammad Ali said, I'm the greatest, but he never won a championship without Angelo Dundee in his corner. People say that Michael Jordan, one of the greatest basketball players of all times, but he never won a championship without Phil Jackson as his coach. And so as you work on yourself and work on your dreams, I'm suggesting that you get someone in your life that you can partner with, someone that can see what you can't see, someone that when you feel you can't make it, someone when you feel I can't do this, and they can give you a word of encouragement and will make all the difference in the world. And I finally came out. I came out, and as we were walking toward the stage, I stopped and I said, "Will y'all pray for me?" And they did, and I grabbed Dexter's hand and put it on my head. I don't know why I did that. Okay. And I finally went up and I did it. And the speech was called, "It's Not Over Until I Win." And what I really meant about that, it's not over until you win over that inner conversation that you have with yourself. See, there's some things that you can do that you don't know right now. And just because you can't see it doesn't mean that it's not available to you. My favorite book says, "Eye has not seen, ear has not heard, nor has entered the heart of mankind what God has in store for you." There's some things that you can do that the heart can feel it, can experience it, but the mind can't get itself wrapped around it. And that's why I'm saying, what are your goals? What are your personal goals? What are your financial goals? And what's your social contribution? I believe we live in the greatest country in the world that gives us an opportunity to leave a legacy. Horace Mann said we should be ashamed to die until we've made some major contribution to humankind. One of the goals I have as a 17-year cancer conqueror is to let people know you are more powerful than cancer. One of the goals I have is to reduce the number of women who die from breast cancer. My mother was a 22-year breast cancer conqueror. One of the goals I have is to teach people, everyday average people outside of the church and outside of politics, both of which I believe polarize and divide people, but ordinary people who want to live an extraordinary life, how to use their story, how to use their voice to make a difference, or use their knowledge to create a financial empire for themselves. What's your goal? What's your dream? What will your legacy be? At the end of the day, when you leave here, what are 3 things that you want said about you when you check out? Because we're going to all go. Nobody's figured out how to get out of life alive. A lot of people go through life not attempting to do anything big or major with their lives because they are trying to play it safe. Hello, listen to me. Hello, there's no safe position in life. Hello? There's no safe position. You can't get out of here alive. You're going to die anyhow. And people who believe that it's possible they can have their dreams, these are people that are daring. Helen Keller said life is either a daring adventure or it's boring. Decide that you're going to make your life a daring adventure. Decide to become a risk taker. Viscott said if you're not willing to risk, you cannot grow. And if you cannot grow, you cannot become your best. And if you can't become your best, you can't be happy. And if you can't be happy, then what else is there? Listen, I don't know you, but here's what I know about you based upon my own experience. You have something special. You have greatness within you. I don't care if you are going through some tough times right now. You are greater than your circumstances. What you are growing through, not going through, what you are growing through will help you to become a better person. There are periods in life when you have to realize that you have to come to a place within yourself where you say, I'm not going out like this. I'm not going out like this. You've got to get to a place where you say, I've had it. I was working on a job and they didn't like me and I didn't like them. They paid me just enough to keep me from quitting, and I worked just hard enough to keep from getting fired. Okay? It was a contract of mediocrity. And I got to the point, and this is when people change their lives. I got to a point where I said, hey, I've had it. I'm out of here. Where are you going? I don't know, but I'm out of here. You're about to make me lose my mind. Up in here, up in here. You're about to make me act a fool. Up in here. Up in here. Come on. I can say to you, as you look at yourself, look at your goals, look at your dreams. What do you want to do with your life? It's possible. If anybody at any point in time in history had a goal, had a dream, and made it happen, then it's possible that you can have your goal. It's possible that you can have your dream. And as you look at yourself, work on yourself every day. Well, Les, what about those negative thoughts? You can't kill them. They're like little weeds. They keep on coming back. You can't kill weeds. They grow through the cracks of sidewalks. And so you can overpower those negative voices by listening to motivational programs, by tuning in on a regular basis to hear my voice, by reading 10 to 15 pages of something positive every day, by going to seminars and workshops and mesmerizing yourself with material that can help you to begin to get a different vision of yourself, to change your whole approach of how you see life. And it will help you to get to that next level. It'll help you to get unstuck. And how does that happen, Les? It's a process. I wish I could just tell you, all you have to do is just think positive and be enthusiastic and everything is going to work out all right. No. You can have a positive mental attitude and life will put some knots on your head. You know, Forrest Gump said, life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. When you have goals and dreams, think it not strange that you'll face the fiery furnaces of this world. You will, not you might, you will have tribulations. But in the midst of it all, you've got to believe it's possible. It's possible. A friend of mine, he was facing a life-threatening disease, Dennis, and he felt it was possible, even though his body was racked with pain, even though he was diagnosed with cancer at 18, even though the doctors called his family in and said he's not going to make it. He held on because he believed it was possible, and he was not just a statistic. It was possible that if he had the faith, if he had the drive, if he had the determination, he could come through this. He said to himself, this too shall pass. And so, it's possible. You can live your dreams, and you have to work at that. It's a moment-to-moment effort that you have to work to train your mind to serve you. You know, the Temptations had a song years ago, Just by Imagination, running away with me. In the absence of information, our imagination will run away with us, tell us that we can't do things. We begin to panic and we make decisions based upon our fears as opposed to our faith. You know, Zig Ziglar said that fear is false evidence appearing real. Faith is finding answers in the heart. Where your heart is, there your treasure is also. What do you love? What turns you on? What do you really want in your life, for your life? How do you want to show up in the world? How do you want to use this gift called life? It's been said that life is God's gift to us, and how we live our lives is our gift to God. Whatever your goals are, your personal goal, your financial goal, or this social contribution, your legacy, your mark, what you think about it. And here's what I know, that it's possible. Here's what I know, that if you think about it, what you think about, you bring about. If you're willing to put in the work, it's possible. If you continue to encourage yourself, continue to fall forward. I've got a saying, when life knocks you down, try and land on your back, because if you can look up, you can get up. You have something special. You have greatness within you. Your dream is possible. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.